It's been a long time since I posted my last videos because I'm moving into a new house. I have things going on, and the videos will trickle in pretty slowly. But as you see here, we're gonna talk about some things. Now, listen, Ortiz lost that fight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you have any eyes whatsoever, you know he lost that fight. CompuBox, yeah, he lost by CompuBox. He won by CompuBox, and the judge just gave it to him in the way the CompuBox did it. But we got there. But let's talk about Gervonta Tank Davis, right? He has a date for November 2nd that he might be bumped off of because there's an NHL game on that same day. If that happens, he can't fight at the T-Mobile Arena. Now, the MGM Grand is probably also another option for him, but let's talk about the opponent. But first, if you're new here, thank you for dropping in. If you're older and been here before, thank you for still hanging in there, even through this little hiatus that I've taken. Your support is greatly appreciated. But let's talk about what I'm thinking is should happen for Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, listen, Keyshawn Davis is one option at 135. That's not going to happen. You know why? Because it's being groomed by Top Rank, and they want to move him to the next level, right? And they're going to try to get a pay-per-view star because they need a pay-per-view star badly. They just can't keep putting these guys in tough because then the casuals who pay the most bills here are going to then move on from these fighters, right? So they got to build them up, and he's getting there, right? Shakur Stevenson is the fight that everybody wants him to get, but he's not going to get that because Eddie Hearns probably has a fight for him in 2025, and then depending on what date in 2025, he's not going to risk in November him getting knocked out by Tank Davis. So Eddie Hearn is probably going to move him slowly, just in cahoots with Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? So they don't want to mess their money up, right? And they're probably going to be in the same card with Terrence Crawford because they're buddies. So if Terrence Crawford has a fight in 2025, it's probably going to be with Shakur Stevenson on the same card. So they're going to kind of do that there. Remember, he's the outlaw now, so whatever. So who's left, right? I'll tell you who's left. Edwin De Los Santos. De Los Santos, he got finessed by the outlaw, right? And so that if he can take out De Los Santos in a grand fashion, something Shakur Stevenson couldn't do. That's a chip on his block, right? He can get that, and then he can say, "Well, listen, you had to finesse him, and I went ahead and knocked him out." So you know what I mean? There's that. There's one intriguing fight, which is Teofimo Lopez. Now, Lopez is now campaigning at 140, but that doesn't mean they can meet at 138, right? In the middle catch weight, right? 138. But I think that Tank should actually move up to 140 and fight him at the full weight. Now, why is this a good fight? Because it's a hell of a good fight. It's a hell of a good fight. Teofimo Lopez wakes up for good challenges. When it's a good challenge, Teofimo Lopez wakes up and he gets into the ring and he does what he needs to do. And I think because although he hasn't had a pay-per-view fight that's or even a significant fight, he has put up numbers on free TV. Yes, we understand this, but put up some numbers. He has a casual notoriety, and he's not a household name, but people know him very well. He fought Loma and beat him. He's looked good off and on depending on his competition. But he does put on a show when it's time to go. And he has a mouthpiece, pause, and his father, he's a very outgoing guy, right? Very bombastic personality. The lead up to the fight will be great because they both of them are good on the mic. And Teofimo is a bad one, man. He's not one of these guys that when the level of opposition gets bigger, he doesn't come to lay down, right? So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting fight. It'll be a great fight. I still got Gervonta Tank Davis beating him, even if they fight at 140. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't get credit. He gets a whole lot of credit because Teofimo Lopez has one of the deepest resumes for his young career that anybody else has. He has a better resume than Tank Davis. So if Tank Davis gets his resume via beating him, he can pretty much say, everybody he's beat, I beat because I beat the crap out of him. Now, we all know that doesn't really work that way, but at least it's there. Like, hey, this is a solid fight. Look who he's beat, right? So what you say was for undisputed champion. Teofimo Lopez was robbed of that notoriety based on the stupid WBC rules of making a franchise champion and all this other nonsense. He was robbed of that public recognition, but we all knew he was undisputed, right? So we should call him that. We should give him the respect. We should call him undisputed. But I think that's the fight to make. That's a fight and it could lead into something. It could lead into a trilogy even. Because what if Theo pulls off the upset or gets a good enough first fight, close enough that they do a second fight, and who knows if he pulls off the second one, right? It could happen because Theo's that good. And I think that's the fight that it should make. I think that's the way we should move on for November 2nd. If they act now, they can get it done. And that's a huge money fight. And if you move it to the MGM Grand, if the NHL kicks him out, then the MGM Grand is the next best stop. What do you think in the comment down below? Do you think that that's the fight to make? Do you think that he would even take it, consider it? What do you think? Do you think he should consider it? Would you like to see that fight if you can't get any other fight for Tank Davis? Let me know in the comments down below. See you in the next video. And as always, I'm out. Peace.